Did he change, or are your expectations too high? Have you ever felt that the person you fell in love with isn't quite the same anymore? That sparkle in their eyes, that warmth in their touch, or even those small gestures that once made you feel seen and cherished seem to have faded away. That nagging doubt creeps in. Did he really change, or are my expectations too high? This question is more common than you might think. Millions of people find themselves trapped in relationships, unsure whether their partner has genuinely transformed over time or whether their own perception has simply shifted. The truth is that both can be true, and more often than not they intersect. In the early stages of a relationship, there's a sense of enchantment. Life seems brighter, emotions more intense, and every interaction feels meaningful. The small flaws of our partner are overlooked, hidden behind the veil of infatuation. But as months and years pass, reality starts to set in. That's when many begin to question, what happened? Did he really change? Or am I finally seeing things clearly? Real changes, when love shows signs of strain. It's important to acknowledge that people do change. Life responsibilities, work pressures, and personal experiences inevitably shape who we are. But there's a critical difference between natural growth and a loss of effort. If your partner once showed attention, care, and affection, but now seems indifferent, if they once invested in conversations, plans, and shared experiences, but now offer only excuses, silence, or minimal engagement, this may be a sign of a real change, not necessarily a natural evolution, but a form of complacency or lack of commitment to maintaining the relationship. Many relationships fail because one person stops tending to the garden. And love, in its essence, is exactly that, a garden. It can flourish, bear fruit, and bring beauty, but it requires care. Without it, weeds grow, coldness, resentment, disappointment, unrealistic expectations when the issue lies in perspective. On the other hand, there's a trap in expecting too much. Sometimes the problem isn't that the partner has changed significantly, but that we have developed unrealistic expectations of them. It's like expecting someone to always be available, patient, attentive, and endlessly passionate. While desirable, this is humanly impossible. Everyone has bad days, moments of fatigue, and periods when their focus is elsewhere. When every minor flaw is interpreted as a major failing, the real problem may not be their change, but the intensity of your demands. This is when expectations transform into control disguised as love. Finding the balance between accepting and demanding. The key to a healthy relationship lies in balance. Love doesn't mean tolerating everything, nor does it mean constantly judging your partner. It's essential to distinguish between essentials and details. Essentials include respect, care, mutual effort, affection, and presence. Details are forgetting a date, being busy for a day, or failing to respond immediately. Confusing the two can lead to unnecessary frustration. Conversely, if you accept a lack of affection, effort, or respect, the problem isn't expecting too much, it's accepting too little. Loving someone also means setting boundaries. Up to this point I can tolerate, but beyond that, I won't compromise myself. Illustrative stories. Consider Emma. At the start of her relationship, she was on cloud 9. Her boyfriend sent thoughtful messages, remembered the little things, and made plans. 2 years later, she noticed that he no longer looked at her the same way. Conversations were reduced to simple, "How was your day?" exchanges, and his attention seemed more on his phone than on her. This is a clear sign of real change. He stopped investing in the relationship. Now think about Sarah. She also began her relationship with passion, but over time, she expected perfection. She wanted her boyfriend to read her mind, be constantly available, and never make mistakes. When he forgot to call or wanted time with friends, she interpreted it as a lack of love. In this case, the issue wasn't his change, but her unrealistic expectations. These examples illustrate that the question, "Did he change, or are your expectations too high?" has no one-size-fits-all answer. Each relationship requires honest evaluation. These examples illustrate that the question, did he change or are your expectations too high, has no one-size-fits-all answer. Each relationship requires honest evaluation. Tools for reflection. 1. Reflect on the past. Was he truly different, or did you idealize him initially? 2. Observe patterns. Is his distance consistent or occasional? 3. Analyze your expectations. Are they reasonable or rooted in perfectionism? 4. Communicate without blame. Sometimes changes are related to stress, work, or personal challenges. 5. Examine yourself. Have you also changed? Are you expecting what you yourself don't consistently provide? When it's time to take action, if the change is real and negative, lack of respect, effort, or care, it may be time to rethink the relationship. If you realize your expectations are too high, it's an opportunity to cultivate patience, empathy, and self-awareness. Relationships don't survive on love alone. They require commitment, understanding, and dialogue. Loving someone is about accepting imperfections, but never tolerating disrespect. It's about being patient with minor flaws while addressing the absence of essentials. Final reflection. So I ask you again, did he really change, or are your expectations too high? Only you can answer this honestly. But remember, you deserve love that feels light, respectful, and reciprocal. Don't settle for crumbs, but also don't demand perfection. Find the middle ground, because that's where healthy love thrives. If this topic resonates with you, share your experience in the comments. Have you ever faced this dilemma? How did it play out in your life? And if you've stayed with me until this point, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. Here at the Unmasked Heart, we talk about love without filters, truthfully and openly.